Hi everyone, it's Dr. T, and I just wanted to do a follow-up video from my Facebook Live last night. People were asking so many important questions, and then I had a couple of things that I ended up not coming back to that I wanted to share out of some questions that you asked. So if you haven't watched the Facebook Live that comes before this video, this is a follow-up to that. So one of the things that I wanted to add is people were asking about what we do and how our program works and what it's about. And I explained a lot of different things about it. I wanted to really add something that I think is one of the most important intentions that we have, and hopefully one of the most exciting things about it. And what that is that through our transformational process that we do, one of our major goals is that all of our clients not only become so emotionally fit and understand all their root causes of their issues that's causing all their issues, and that we eliminate all of the emotional and behavioral issues at the root level. Besides that, like, incredible awesomeness that happens, there's some other important things that are part of the transformational intentions, part of our mission statement, and part of what happens for all of our clients. And I was just reminded today, having worked with a group of clients that are just flying high, feeling, as people were saying, they're maybe like somebody's like 42 years old, 47 years old, 39 years old, and saying, I have so many things going on in my life and I have never felt better. Like, meaning there's somebody's have a funeral, somebody's got their daughter going into surgery, and I have never felt better. And why that's important is because that is a really important outcome that we help people with. But the outcome is bigger than just feeling friggin' fantastic in the midst of external stuff going on that's always going on, right? There's always stuff nonstop happening. The reason why that is for so many of our clients is because through their transformation, we've done something very intentional, and we've made it so that they have now become their own psychologist, their own physician, their own coach, their own trainer. And they, as is my intention, become somebody that knows exactly what I know how to do, somebody that can actually be as powerful as I am at all of this, is at living so emotionally strong, and so emotionally connected, and so powerful in what I do, influential, and just enjoying life. The thing is that in the other model of getting help that I was talking about, that I mentioned in the Facebook Live last night, in the other model, as I was defining it, there is this built-in codependency. And that codependency means, again, that you gotta be on the hook the rest of your life to go to doctors and therapists and practitioners. And even though we might all, in some way, shape, or form, enjoy some of those things, because in some ways you're like, I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to feel better, and you've got like a psychology of, I'm doing something. The truth is, in that model, you are dependent on all of these practitioners and whatever they know, whatever their ability is, whatever their availability is, and whatever their pricing is, and whatever they happen to give you. You're dependent, and that sets up a feeling of dependency that actually brings about a level of stress. So then in the model of the doctors and the practitioners and all the healers or whatever that you might be going to, in that model, you have to keep going, right? It's built in that you got to keep going, you got to keep paying, you got to spend your time. It's open-ended. It's never ending. It's indefinite. And in the mindset of all those practitioners, it's that you will just keep coming back and back. They're not thinking to themselves, like the psychiatrists aren't going, it'll be so awesome when Angela doesn't need this medication or doesn't need this appointment anymore. None of these practitioners in the conventional model are thinking that. They're thinking, I want to get more people that have to come more often. I want to fill my schedule, all these copay or whatever it is, all these fees, all these copays, all this dependency, get somebody hooked on the line. And the subconscious thing is, then that's just going to fill everything up, and then you're scheduled to come back and you have to keep coming back. And how convenient it is that there's no endpoint to your process. There's no absolute endpoint result goal to the transformation of where you are to where you want to be. So what we do, what's really important to me, because having been in that dependency with people and they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and I was paying a bunch of money at like so many of our clients, and I was like feeling a teeny bit of relief here or there, but I felt like, oh my God, now I got to keep going back. I got to keep doing this. And whatever little something they give me, then I'm supposed to like operate on that little crumb going forward until they're going to give me another little crumb. And what happens when you're in the dependency model is that then those practitioners, they can just keep raising their prices. They can keep raising them. They can keep doing whatever they want because you need them. And that is not a good setup. That is not a powerful place to be. So what we do is we teach you how to be all of these things, how to be all of these people, how to completely be a psychologist, a physician, a healer, an energy worker, every single aspect, how to know exactly how to live with total emotional empowerment and strength and live that from the inside out. So your life on the external level if reflects your internal strength, right? Instead of your life on the external level just reflecting, here's some areas where I've got some strength, and then there's a bunch of areas that I always feel like are undeveloped. That's not just an accident. That's because your entire emotional capacity has not been developed. And therefore, you're just getting the frequency and the results of whatever capacity you are. And then you feel like, well, there's all these areas of my life I've never addressed. And I'm good over here, but I suck over here. And that is, again, it's not a powerful place to be. So when you develop your full emotional capacity and you know everything that I know, you know how I not only teach it, you know how to do it for yourself, you will know how to do it for other people even better than I do. So what we're doing is breaking people out of this like factory medicine assembly line dependent model where, again, as I said last night in the Facebook Live, you got to go to the doctor, you got to try to get what you want, hope that person knows how to deal with what you need. And then if it's like the once a week model, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to spend 20 years of my life getting trained 1 hour a week instead of just getting that training done and moving on, right? Just seems like a much more practical path to living your purpose and potential. Or in this model, you're going to go to the doctor, then you got to do that visit, then you got to do all the effort. I got to drive there, I got to pay the parking, I got to be in traffic, then I got to pay their bill, and then I got to talk to them, and then I got to schedule something else, and then I got to go to the pharmacy, and then I got to deal with them, and I'm in the pharmacy line, and then I got the medication, and then now I've got the job to take the medication, and then I got to manage the refills, and then I've got this whole process, and my whole system is a bunch of energy that's going to fix the symptoms, as I've said before, of the lower emotional capacity, meaning that you need more emotional capacity than you have. And if not, you wouldn't need any of those medications. So in the other model, you are doing all of those things to try to fix and band-aid these symptoms, right? I got to go buy the supplements. I got to do everything else. I got to literally become an organic specialist. I've got to do, you name it. Just think about the things that you have done. You got to go to rehab. You got to go to the AA meetings. You got to be a sponsor. You got to work with a sponsor. You got a whole lifetime job. I've got to keep going to the meetings. I've got to be in recovery. I've got to always work on my lifestyle of fixing my depression. I've got a lifestyle of trying to fix my fatigue. All of these things, and all of these different practitioners are trying to do pieces of it. And you're just in a model that makes it so everyone else knows stuff that you don't know. You're dependent on them, and you don't know, do they even really know what the frick they're doing? And here's how you know. You feel immediately radically better, or you don't. It's really simple. The way to know if somebody knows what they're doing is they have a game plan. They have a way to get you there from A to Z, and you begin to feel better immediately. And not only do you feel better, you become totally competent in doing what the doctor does. And ideally, and this is what we're doing, we want to transfer to you the capacity to go on with the rest of your life and essentially be your own physician, your own therapist. And only if you want to seek out some of these things because you like to go do these things, you can go do them. But not because you need to and that you're in pain. And then the only way to get out of that is to be in this dependency with things that don't work, right? And that's the reality about it. So what I wanted to say about that is that just really, really understand that there is a difference in the old conventional system where everybody knows stuff, you're dependent on them, you have to go, you have to do things on their terms, and you're in that system. And you're part of a dependent system that has a very big motivation, and that is profit. That motivation is built in subconsciously to keep you coming back. Okay, there's an entire industry, massive industry, not to mention the insurance companies and the supplement companies. There is a built-in motivation, whether people conscious of that or subconscious, and that is that they are absolutely, no matter how well-intentioned they are, if you are needing to keep coming back to them over and over, then that dependency is a strain for you. It strains your resources. It has you on a chronic payout plan where you just like nickel and diming you, or hundreds of dollars over time, like just nickel and diming you over a very long period of time. So where you're losing your time to all of these aspects of the process, you're losing your resources, and you're losing the capacity to feel the way you want to feel now. So you're not only losing the time you'll never get back doing all of those things, managing it, participating in it, you're losing that time right there. But then you're losing the time not feeling the way you want to feel every day, because the whole process is like, go a little and then come back later, and go a little and come back later, and here's a little Band-Aid and all of that. This model has this is exactly what's going on in it. The world has never had more depression, more anxiety, more addiction, more fatigue, more autoimmune, and it's not working. It's collapsing. And the difference is that it's about you becoming the expert so that you know exactly what to do for yourself. And if you ever go to any of these people, that you sit in the driver's seat instead of being a friggin' passenger. That's the difference between what it is that we teach people and what other people are doing. So if you want to not be the codependent passenger in your own life, in your own health, in your own transformational process, then you want to do something that actually makes sense and transfers to you what it is, not only that you need to feel and be, but transfers to you the entire book of knowledge on how to make that happen, how to grow that, how to expand it, and do it for other people that you love and care about and want to influence, who are also stuck in the old model. So this is why I do such an extensive program. And for those of you that are in it and have taken it, you know that it is so extensive in the training on every single aspect that you need to feel totally emotionally empowered, behaviorally in total control, and having the energy and the vibrancy to just, rock your life and just to really carve out your own destiny. And it's comprehensive and it's integrative. It's totally integrated and it's comprehensive on purpose. I left nothing out for what people need to be able to feel well from the inside out and have all the knowledge that I gain over a 20-year period of healing every clinical, mental, emotional, behavioral disorder where other people had come to me and they'd been in a cycle for like 15 years. They'd been in and out of every type of therapy, every rehab. This model that I do, this program, this transference from myself to our clients, from my team to our clients, is an entire training. It's an entire transformation that is happening on a major psychological level. But even more important than that, it's giving you every single thing that I've ever known or done or feel is the absolute essential thing for anyone, and I mean anyone, to fix any, and I mean any, clinical or medical disorder. And the only exception to that is some type of medical disorder that is a genetically based chromosomal like disease, like something like Huntington's, where it's a legitimately like it's a chromosomal genetic issue versus versus anything else. Let me just say that, versus anything else, because all illness is created by the pathology of chronic stress and us not being able to manage the emotional overwhelm of life. It's just too much for us and it creates pathology. And when you know how to be totally emotionally strong, you stop the progression of pathology, you prevent it, and as is the recipe for most every type of recovery process, where they say like, don't stress and rest. The difference is that saying like you need to just rest, like of course like that can do something, but laying down and resting doesn't mean that you're truly resting from the inside out. And it's a confusing thing that somehow you need to like just rest and then that's going to fix all your problems. What is more profound, and one of the outcomes of our program, is that you are able to be restful within yourself all the time, no matter what you're doing, but you're able to be focused. There's a relaxed, restful focus internally, and then you're not going to have the wear and tear on yourself. You're going to be able to get things done. You're going to be able to be the most empowered version of yourself while not having the stressful wear and tear that comes from not having the emotional foundation that you need. So ultimately, it is my absolute intention through our program to give people the ability to know everything that I know so that they never, ever need me again. And mostly so that they truly never need any sort of providers, but they can choose to work with them. And if they do, that our clients end up so totally empowered that they are in the driver's seat. So they know that if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they know what to do. So that if somebody isn't doing enough or whatever it is, that you essentially become smarter than every one of the providers that you may ever go to in your life. And you then, instead of being dependent, are in charge of what's happening and collaborating with them so that they do exactly what is right for you. Otherwise, you're just on a roller coaster ride that you can just ask yourself, how has that worked for me? How has that worked for people in my life who have had all kinds of struggles? You can just ask yourself that. So hopefully this answers and speaks to some more explanation of some of the outcomes that happen for people in our program. And it was funny, I was thinking about this, and I thought it's one of these fun, really, really fun quotes that I wanted to share with you. And it's something, I believe it's a Winston Churchill quote. And he says, let me take a look at it. Sorry. I think he said, so it's something like this. Once they've exhausted everything else, Americans will always do the right thing. And it's just sort of the way things are going, right, with conventional factory medicine. It's like, once we've exhausted this to the point that we just recognize, as people have for so long, that it just isn't working, then we will eventually just make that paradigm shift to have a different kind of support process, transformation process, healing and strengthening process that actually works. So again, if any of you, through what I'm saying, feel inclined to want to learn more, we can go over this extensively in a free consultation. So go ahead and take that opportunity and book that consultation, and we'll all go and answer any questions that you have about what it is that you're struggling with, what you want help with, and how we're going to get there, and how we're going to get there quickly and in a way that you don't need us anymore as soon as possible, because that's our goal. We would love to work ourselves out of a job. And that is a biggest part of my mission statement. But first, we actually have to do the process, get you the help you need, and then set you free in the life that you're meant to be living and what you're supposed to be doing with all of that time and energy that is being stolen by the challenge of not having the emotional strength and the behavioral control that you need. Okay, so look forward to talking to you all. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.